Okay, I'm ready for questions.
All right.
No questions?
Right side gate, and then we'll go to Kate.
How nice was it to have Otara Alaka back, Coach?
Well, it's big. We needed the depth there. We're back to full strength at the position, and it's going to be interesting to watch them compete today and tomorrow, and that's what they're doing is they're competing for playing time.
Kate and then Brent.
I know we've asked you about Brandon Williams a lot, but just technique-wise, what are the biggest things in coming over from running back that you really need to learn to be a cornerback in the SEC?
Well, I think he's in a good place already, but he's got to continue to improve on his footwork and just gaining that experience and confidence. It's going to be big for him, and that comes through reps. That comes through reps in practice, and he's working as hard in practice as anybody I've been around. So, and I think his game will continue to improve, but just the fact that he's there made us a better secondary already.
Brent and then Lee.
Coach told us that Julian Obioha unexpectedly had his appendix removed, and he also said that's something you don't prepare for as a coach. How nice will it be? He said he should be back soon to have him back in the mix on the line.
Well, it gives us some depth, and obviously, we're talking about a young man that played defensive end last year. He gives us some fast twitch inside, and certainly, as many spread teams that we're playing, you need that guy inside that can get off blocks and make plays for you, and he certainly can do that.
Middle right, Lee.
Coach, what have you seen from Nevada's running back Don Jackson, their quarterback Tyler Stewart, and what their offense could challenge you guys or present challenges to you this Saturday?
Well, they do a great job, and they're committed to running the football, and not just the running back, but they've got an offensive line that's physical, well coached. They play good. The quarterback's smart. He can hurt you running as well as throwing. He understands their offense, but the backs, both of them, are strong. They're not real tall, but they're both strong and good runners. And like I said, they've made a commitment to run the football, and we've got to play better in those situations this week.
Aubrey on the right, and then we'll go to Cease.
Talks a lot about confidence being such a big issue with the start of the season and getting these guys to believe in what they can do. Can you give us any insight at all into how you go about instilling confidence in a defense that really didn't have a lot of success a year ago, but it's mostly the same guys and mostly the same coaches back? What y'all did this offseason to give them that confidence?
Well, and I've said this before, you put young men in situations where they can have success. You coach them, you give them the tools that they need to go prepare and play. But when they have success, then they start gaining confidence, and that's a big part of it, And then I think you gotta be very, very positive with them. And if you're not careful, coaching can be a negative profession because you're always correcting, and you got to make those corrections. But you have to do it in a way that you're not beating kids down. And we expect a lot out of them. We hold them accountable. They hold each other accountable. But we're not going to beat them down. We're not going to beat them down, and that's been the approach we've taken. Each one of those guys, we've got high expectations for them. But they're somebody's son. They're our football players, and we got to treat them that way. Have high expectations, and show them how they can get it done, and they'll go get it done for you.
Left side, Cease.
What happened on the two early running plays, and then how you're able to turn right around and get the goal line stand? Can you talk about the cause and effect, so to speak? We had a guy up front that got a little bit out of position. We had a guy that made every tackle the week before. So I don't. You asked me what happened. And probably the biggest thing. Let me go back and finish this tape. We had a guy that should have made the tackle for a 2-yard gain, but he didn't. That goes back to coaching, and that goes back to the mental preparation. I'm not, and I'm not going to guess, but we didn't go out there and function the way we did the week before on those first 2 plays. Now, the amazing thing is we didn't change anything. Our kids got settled down, and they got ready to play, and they said, hey, this team's here to play. We can't afford to do that. We got to go out and play one, and we got to be consistent with it. We gave up 71 or 2 yards, I don't know, on 2 plays. And then we gave up 26 yards on the next 23 plays for the entire half. So,
let me tell you this, our players, because we've got good leadership, they got it turned around. We didn't do anything. You know, they got it turned around, they handled it on the sideline, and it's good to see a team grow that way, where they're going to hold each other accountable.
Daryl in the back and then KO.
Coach, how do you balance between having your starters in and them gelling and getting better, and then deciding, hey, we're gonna start putting in some backup guys to get them some experience? How do you balance that? What comes to mind when you go, okay, this is when I need to start doing that?
Well, obviously, you've got a 46-point lead. I think that's a pretty good time to do it. And, but no, you know, you got to get those guys experience. It's going to be a long season, you know. It's going to get tougher as we go, you know, in terms of playing in the SEC. And we're doing and we're going to continue to do what we need to do to get our football team ready for the entire season. You balance it by only being concerned with one stat, and that's winning and losing.
Go to KO and then Gabe.
Hey, Coach, you just mentioned the rigors of the SEC, and you guys are moving into that direction. How important is it for you guys already, though, to have been able to rest kind of the middle part of your defense, be it through injury or suspension or in some of the breaks that you've gotten in these games? How important is that going to be down the road for you when you head into the West?
Well, I think it's going to be big because, you know, as you get into some of the teams that are going, you know, run the ball right at us, and we've seen some of that already. But, you know, getting those guys out there and letting them get that game experience and growing, it's going to be a big plus for us. But it'll be, you know, when we get all those legs back in there, it'll be good to have some fresh legs in there. There's no question. You know, a season will take a lot out of you. It's not just playing that game on Saturday. You know, it's Saturday after Saturday after Saturday, and if you're not careful and you don't do a great job of managing your personnel, you can get beat down in a hurry in this league. And, you know, it's going to give us some guys that can give us quality playing time so we don't have to play too many reps, particularly with those guys inside.
Got time for a couple more. Gabe, and then we'll go to
While we're talking depth, can you take us through just what you're seeing after 2 games from Jarrett Johnson and Quaylen Cunningham and being able to rest your 2 starters at end?
Well, it's been big for us, and those guys have played well. You know, and listen, if we had not had the idea or the thought that they were going to be able to do that, we would have never moved OB inside. You know, that was a big part of that. You know, looking at where we were and watching those guys progress in spring practice. So they've done an adequate job, and they will continue to get better. And they've given us good, solid play.
wrap it up with Zach in the back.
Coach, I asked Coach Sumlin Saturday about Devontae Harris and how he's progressed, and he specifically pointed to your defense and how he's been able to thrive in your system. Have you seen that, and what progressions have you seen from him so far this season?
Well, you know, and again, I could say this about a lot of guys, but obviously he feels comfortable with what we're doing. You know, there's times that we have to give our guys checks on the field where they've got to make them based on formation, based on splits. We try to keep that to a minimum. And we try to make sure that even though we got a package that is multiple, we're going to keep the technique. That's going to be the simplicity part of our defense. We're not going to ask them to play a lot of different techniques. You know, at that position, if you can master 4 or 5 techniques in the passing game, and obviously if you're in support or whatever in the run game, then you should be able to play well. We're not going to ask them to play 15 or 20 different techniques. They're going to understand. They're going to be confident when they line up there. They're going to know what they're supposed to do. That way they can screw their cleats in the ground and play football.